I don't think we should all be the same. I love diversity. There's reasons why I got into arm wrestling that I'm so happy about, and I will forever be drawn to this community about. There's a few things that I see on the regular, and when I see them, especially by people that I think are cool, it makes me so upset. So I thought I'd make a little video today just about 3 things that I kind of see on the regular, like over the course of a long time, that kind of piss me off a little bit. And I'd say my thoughts about them, what I think it means when somebody says that, and maybe, not to say that I'm perfect. That's funny even to say. But just in my opinion, what you could maybe change. My first biggest pet peeve, and I know that I am massively in the minority on this, but in all my time and all my experience, there's nothing that can make me, to this point, change my opinion on what I'm going to talk about. And let me just say, I love arm wrestling. The King's Move. When people talk about the King's Move, when people say things like, you should ban the King's Move, or, well, that right there, or in some way, start to speak like the rules should be shifted in the sport to eliminate a technical option. The first thing I think when I see someone speak like this, it takes me down a psychological road where I think that they're a quitter. I think that this person is not actually a fighter. And I think that they're incapable of growth. That's what I think when I see people talk like this. And it upsets me because a lot of the people I see talk like this are people that I do like. And, to me, the King's Move is... So for those of you who don't know what the King's Move is, like when you think about arm wrestling, there's a lot of different... Arm wrestling is a miniature martial art. Okay, we're fighting with our hands. There's a ton of options that you can do. You can push, you can pull, you can twist, you can turn, whatever. Basically, we have a set of rules. And the King's Move is that ugly thing that looks a lot more like a tug of war than it does like arm wrestling. Regardless of what it looks like, it wins world championships. I've seen the King's Move beat world champions over and over and over for the entire time that I've been in the sport of arm wrestling. I've seen Crazy George win 10 Arnold Classics in a row or something like that. A little old man using a trick to beat, some of the fittest arm wrestlers in the world. I've seen Michael Todd, after a 20-year career where he's right at the top, become reborn and go to a completely different level after a long career. King's Move is a style of arm wrestling that anyone can do. I understand that there may be issues surrounding the bone lock in arm wrestling. However, it is not that simple, let me assure you. Anyways, I don't want to really continue to rant about this, but I would say to all the people who are, I would say, and I'm going to make an assumption that most people who are so upset about the King's move have come to a hasty decision or a decision based on emotion. Perhaps they've lost to a King's mover and haven't accepted the loss. I'd say that what I would encourage you to do is always accept your losses and remember that arm wrestling is a sport and winning is the teacher. If you are not winning, then you need to be learning. And the King's move will teach you. The King's move will teach you about paths to victory. The King's move is not a perfect move. It is a trick, believe me. It is a great trick. And to have it in your arsenal is an excellent thing to have. I would suggest always think about how do you beat different moves in arm wrestling. It is great to be a person with a silver bullet. It's great. It's great to be able to go up to that arm wrestling table and dictate the terms and lead the battle and make the person have to adjust. Fantastic feeling. This isn't always the case, and it's not going to be the case for at least 50% of us. And the victory where you can win by adjusting is a fantastic thing. Learning which move goes against which move optimally is one of the most fun things you can do in the sport. To even think about taking this away, to shrink the sport so it becomes more of a lifting sport and less of a combat sport, to all the people that think this way, I tell you, you are missing the beauty of what arm wrestling really is. So I'll always say, long live the King's move. Long live the flop wrist press. Long live all the ugliness in arm wrestling. Stay flexible. All right. I'm sure that's not the end of that topic. In the similar thread, I will say something that it's related. The person who says, yes, but can you beat me in a hook? Or can you beat me without straps? And this is similar thinking. It speaks again to someone who's trying to shrink things. You should actually think the exact reverse of that. I just got done saying how sports is about winning and it's about losing, and let that be your teacher. And that is where it starts. We can agree that there are more glorious forms of victory on an arm wrestling table to be had. And if you can get one win, you can progress to a more and more difficult win until you are beating a person in their strength and making them quit. So never think, but can you beat me in a hook if you've lost? Think, can I beat them in a hook after you've won in your strength? Anyways, that's not as bad. The last thing that I'd say I see people talk about that always kind of strikes a nerve in me is when I see people talk badly about the World Arm Wrestling League. And whenever I see that, I just think these people are not on the team. These people are not here for the big win. These people want to keep the pond very small. And I will say that people enter sport for many reasons. And a lot of it has to do with fun and personal growth. And when you start to climb the ladder in arm wrestling, you will start to look for greater and greater ways to test yourself and challenge yourself. A lot of people who complain about the WAL are not in the WAL. How many WAL athletes do you see complaining about being in the WAL? What I'll say is, as you progress, you will look for greater and greater challenges. As you go forward, a lot of those come with money, fame, opportunities. And I'll say that the complete package that you receive if you are competing and winning in the World Arm Wrestling League, there has been no greater prize in the entire sport. People can say winning a WAF medal, if you're in the right country, debatable, very debatable. I'd say even if you're in a country that funds arm wrestling, you winning in the WAL is going to be better for you. People talk about the PAL and the opportunities that it gives. I would argue heavily that the gifts that and awards that the WAL will give you is the greatest. Anyways, even if you don't believe me, they are still at least on par. And when I see people discredit it in any way, I just think people are not part of the team, not trying to push arm wrestling to that next level, trying to shrink things. Anyways, enough of my negativity for today. It's Christmas after all. Hope y'all are doing great. Merry Christmas, everybody.